let's do this problem here. We want to draw a graph. So let g be this function here, 4 plus f of x plus 2 over 3. The graph of f is below. So we're given a graph, and we want to draw the transformation of this. So let's do these steps that are in the textbook. So this is on page 135 of the book, and we'll look at this for a minute, and then I'll take it away, and you can follow along with the steps on page 135. So we've just got 4 steps that we're going to do. That this is going to cover all of our bases here. So if we have some function, a is not 0, b is not 0, then to graph something that looks like this, which is pretty similar to what we've got, but not exactly, right? Inside here, this one doesn't have a fraction, this one does. So we'll talk about that in a second. So if we've got something that looks like this, we can just follow these steps to come to the graph here. So first thing we're going to do is subtract whatever that h value is from all the x coordinates. Okay, then we're going to divide the x coordinates by the points on the points by b here. So we just have to identify what these values are, right? A, b, h, and k. Then we're going to multiply the y values by a, so that's that number. And then we're going to add k to all these coordinates, so that's this number out here. Okay, so really the first thing we've got to do is we've got to make our given function look like what we need for the procedure. So in particular, we just want to write this stuff without a fraction. So we can take this and we can rewrite it, right? The first thing that we probably notice, and that is very easy to change, is that we can slide this 4 and put it on the other side. So that's going to make it look more like what we want. So x plus 2 over 3 plus 4. So now, I mean, again, we're trying to line this up so it looks like this. So we got a number out in front here. There's nothing there, so that's a 1. This junk here, we're going to deal with that in a second. K here would be that 4 value. So really, we just have to write this without without the x in a numerator, right? So we can recall how fractions work, right? If I've got some number, some sum over some number, I can split that up as 2 fractions, right? We've got the individual numerators over the same denominator, so we can rewrite this f of, well, that'd be x over 3 plus 2 over 3 plus 4. And if we want to take that one step further to separate that out, we could, go one step further and write that 1/3 times x plus 2/3 plus 4. Okay, so now we have it in the form we want, right? We've got the form we want. We wanted to have some number times f, well, that's 1. Some number times x, that's 1/3. Then a number here, that's h, and then there's your k. So let me just write that real quick here. A is 1, b is 1/3, h is 2/3, k is 4. Okay, so what we want to do now is just, follow these steps. So we're going to start with the points that we're given. So we're given this point, this point, this point. So we've got 0, 2, 3, 4, 4, 0. Okay, so for our first step, we're just going to, detail along the line. We're going to do all the steps listed in the nice textbook. Again, that's on page 135. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract the h value from all the x coordinates. So we do that. Let me extend that arrow there. Okay, so subtract 2/3 from all of the x coordinates. We can do that. So x coordinates, so we're taking 2/3 away. Okay, 2/3, 2. The next one, I want to take 2/3 away from 3. So we know that 3 is 9/3. If we take away 2/3, that would be 7/3. 4, that is 12/3. So take away 2, we would have 10/3. Okay. We did it. So we subtracted 2/3 from all of our x coordinates. That's our first step. And then we can do our second step. And our second step, this is going to be dividing x coordinates by 1/3. So we're going to divide our x coordinates by 1/3. Let me put a little line here. Somehow that's separate. Okay, so I divide all of the x coordinates by 1/3. So when we divide by a fraction, we're multiplying by its reciprocal. So dividing by 1/3, that's the same as multiplying by 3. So we can do that, right? We can multiply all these things by 3, and that's just going to make all those denominators go away. So hey, isn't that convenient? So -2, 2, 7, 4, 10, 0. Okay, so on the other video that I made, these two steps are kind of combined. So maybe reference the other video that I made and compare these two. So we've sort of combined these two steps in that other video. Anyway, we did the second step. That's wonderful. Now we're going to do the third step. So the third step, we are going to multiply the y coordinates by whatever a is. Well, a is 1, so multiply by 1. So nothing's going to change here. -2, 2, 7, 4, 10, 0. Okay, so nothing changed there. And then the fourth step, we can do this. We're going to add k to the y values. Okay, so we can do that. We're just going to add 4 to all these y values. So we've got -2, 6. We've got 7, 8, and then 10, 4. Okay, so these are on the final graph. All right, so these points are on our final graph, and we can draw that real quick, maybe right here. So -2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 8. We're up here. Maybe we can label these things. In hindsight, maybe I should have done a different color for the graph, but let's maybe try to correct that. There, now isn't that beautiful? Looks kind of like the same color though. All right, anyway, 10 and 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up to 4, so that's, yeah. And then we can connect the dots. And we have connected the dots. So here is our wonderful graph, and we can ask all sorts of questions about it, like what's the domain? That would be everything between -6 and whatever that is, that's 10. So our domain would be -2 to 10. Our range, we can answer questions about the range, right? It's everything between, looks like 4 and 8. We could say where it's increasing, right? It'd be in this little region here, and then decreasing it would be in this interval. But anyway, we've drawn the graph, and we used the steps from the textbook.